Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of the Player to Player podcast. I'm Kirk.
I'm Luke.
And we're going to hop right into the news. So this week, Nintendo has delayed Advance Wars. The quote from them, which they published on Twitter, says, "In light of recent world events, we have made the decision to delay Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp, which was originally scheduled to release on Nintendo Switch April 8th. Please stay tuned for updates on a new release date." Luke, why do you think they delayed it?
In light of recent world events.
Yeah, but like what specifically?
I mean, Ukraine.
Oh, for sure. You think it has anything to do with the first level being Russia invading another country?
No, is it really?
Yep.
What?
Yep. The very
whoops.
first level has a very Russian style commander with a very Russian style army invading a neighboring country. So it's kind of bad timing.
Yeah, a little bit.
What's
that's
interesting
crazy.
about this is the original Advance Wars on Game Boy Advance, this is the remake of, was delayed after 9/11.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It was scheduled to release September 10th.
Okay, so
September 10th.
if you see an announcement that Advance Wars is coming out, run, hide,
Yeah. Next time Advance
go
Wars
underground.
3 gets announced, something bad is
Yep,
going to happen. Maybe that's Nintendo's
that's
way of
crazy.
warning us about things. In other news, we have Xbox Quick Resume gets a feature update. So Quick Resume is one of the best things about the
for sure.
Series X and the Series S. It has
Mhm.
Quick Resume also. And what it does is it allows you to suspend your games up to, I think, 10
games.
10 games,
Yep.
yeah. And you can just hop right back into them where you left off. You don't have to pause. You don't have to save. It's amazing.
It's super cool. I've had games that I haven't played for 2 or 3 weeks that I completely forgot I was in the middle of playing, and I open it and it's like Quick Resume, and I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
this is cool.
isn't that awesome?
I don't have to go through the menu again or anything.
I
I'm
like
just right
Quick
into the
Resume
game.
a lot, especially when it's been time like that. The other cool thing about Quick Resume is if you unplug your Xbox and you take it over to your buddy's house, it still works.
Yep.
It without power, you can fully power off the
Which
Xbox.
is crazy. That's super
Unplug
impressive.
it out of the wall, take it somewhere else, and Quick Resume will still work. But the only issue with it is sometimes games fall out of that, especially if you try to do more than 10 games, one will rotate out, and sometimes
Also, online games don't work, which makes sense. But
Right.
so even though for Black Ops 3, if I'm playing zombies or whatever, but I want to use the good gobble gums, I have to be connected to the internet, so I can't pause in the middle of my.
yeah.
I can't use Quick
Well,
Resume
yeah,
for that.
makes sense.
Which it makes sense. It's just that it's a bummer that there's so many single player
You know
games
what
that
else is a
require
bummer?
internet connection. What?
That you ruined my transition.
Oh, sorry about that.
It's okay. What I was going to say is some games rotate out of it eventually,
Mhm.
but the new feature allows you to pin games so that they will never rotate out.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
if you got Red Dead Redemption and Skyrim and you're like, hey, those are the two I never want to
Right.
close out of Quick Resume, you can pin them into Quick Resume, and no matter what games come in and however the rotation works, they won't leave Quick Resume. So that's the new feature update that we got from
That's
that.
super
So
cool.
that's super awesome. I love that they keep innovating on their innovations. They keep adding to their new features, similar to things PlayStation has done lately. So things like this is what gets me excited about the new generation, especially right now because we're still getting cross-gen games coming out. I mean,
Yeah.
and the only real PS5 games we're getting is GTA 5, which is the third version. It's
Right.
absolutely ridiculous. So that stuff gets me excited. And speaking of Xbox, there is the Xbox Series X,
Uh-huh.
the Xbox Series S,
Uh-huh.
and there is a new Xbox in development.
Really?
It's not the successor because, like we talked about last week, they're always working on a successor.
Well, right. Yeah, of
It's
course.
probably, honestly, too early for them to be working on next gen. I'm sure they have some concepts
Right.
bin somewhere, but they're actively in development of a new Xbox right now. as we speak.
What's the source on that? Is that
so,
from Xbox?
So it was a leak.
Okay.
As a guy on Twitter leaked this out, and then we got the article from techtimes.com.
Okay.
But basically, this is not going to be a successor or a replacement for the X or S. This will be to go along with. This will be an alternative option.
Really?
Because
So this won't be like the Xbox One X.
yeah, so it's not an upgrade. It's not a replacement. It will be a third style of
That's
so
weird.
so you've got the Series X, which is the powerhouse,
right.
the most powerful console on the market.
Yeah.
You have the Series S, which is a $300 console that is by far the most powerful console at that price range.
Absolutely.
But it's still like it's a streaming Xbox for next gen games. Well,
Right.
not streaming, but digital. You know what I mean.
Right. Yeah.
So this is called Xbox Keystone. That's the leak name.
code
So
name.
it's the
Uh-huh.
code name. Just like we had Project Scorpio.
Right.
For the One X. We are probably looking at what people are theorizing to be a Fire Stick.
What?
Yeah, Xbox Series Stick.
Really?
Yeah, it's not confirmed, obviously, and
So
this
like
is,
all cloud
it's
gaming?
just a leak, but it's probably cloud gaming, and it's probably like a USB Xbox device, and they might just call it an Xbox Series something.
Interesting.
Because so if you look at Xbox and their focus in this generation, it's been playing their games.
Right.
It's not about selling consoles. Their PS5 is outselling Xbox like nobody's business. That being said, Xbox is selling better than it ever has, but it's not their focus is to sell consoles. Their focus right now is get their games on computer, get their games on Game Pass,
Right.
get their Game Pass on the computer, getting their games on Switch even. They just want you playing the games. So
I'm just so skeptical of how well that's gonna work. I mean,
well, so
I haven't
think
had any success with
Stadia,
cloud gaming.
but with a quality company behind it.
Hmm.
So Stadia was a viable
Interesting.
product,
Yeah.
an interesting idea.
For sure.
Like streaming games, like all you need is a Chromecast and a controller. When that was announced, do you remember how excited I was?
Oh yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
this is
totally.
the future. Like there's no consoles, there's no nothing. You just plug in, you get 4K 60 frames if you have the internet to support it. And that's amazing. As much as I love collecting stuff, I was very excited about the idea of that being able to, because I love clean living spaces. So just having a TV on the wall and nothing else, and no consoles and no cables and no nothing under it, that sounds so attractive to me.
Yeah.
And
for
so
sure.
the reason Stadia failed is because they broke into the gaming industry the same time that they did Stadia, and they hired people the same time instead of releasing an exclusive at the same time. So they started 5 years too early, in my opinion.
Right.
They
Which
should
that's
have
not
they
an
should have
uncommon
sat on
thing.
us. They should have hired Jade Raymond like they did and had her develop an exclusive like they were going to.
Right.
And then launch Stadia, 4 or 5 years later with an exclusive with some experience in the games industry. But instead they totally botched it, and they made some deals with Ubisoft, and they made some mistakes, and they got Destiny on there. But you had to pay for your premium Stadia subscription, and then you had to
Right.
buy
And
$60
then the
games,
Yeah.
which is ridiculous.
right.
That's too much.
Yeah. Yeah, but cloud game, something like Stadia with Game Pass behind it.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
Exactly.
That's super cool.
Yeah. So now you plug this bad boy in. So say it's a Fire Stick with a controller. What are those? $50 a piece. So call it $100. Maybe they do it at 80,
Sure.
and they call it the Xbox Series G or whatever for Game Pass, or S for streaming. Oh, we already have an S.
Yeah.
C for cloud. Xbox Series C. So you plug that actually rolls off the tongue pretty good. I'm gonna make that an official prediction. So you plug that into your TV, and then you have
An Xbox.
150 games that you can play.
Yeah, that's super cool. I hope it works. I'm skeptical. That's
Well, but if it doesn't work, you still got a Fire Stick and an Xbox controller. like you can still play Netflix and all those other things.
Well,
You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Well, it can do everything an Xbox can do, right? So you download Netflix onto it, you download Amazon onto
Yeah, I
it.
guess that's true. I mean, that's not the user interface that I want for those things. And also, like, pretty much everyone has a smart TV now.
Well,
so,
we're getting to that
you
point,
know,
but
like,
I mean, Fire Sticks still sell. People still
yeah, I
buy
mean,
them,
sure, they definitely do. I just
especially
like, I don't
for
know.
like older TVs in secondary rooms. Like for the TV
Right.
I have in here,
Yeah.
for people's bedroom TVs, things like
Yeah,
that.
no, for sure.
Dude,
It's
you
just
know how
also
cool it would be?
smart
like,
TVs are just getting so cheap too that I feel like in 3 to 5 years, like
Yeah.
Fire Sticks are
Yeah,
not gonna be
totally.
selling. You know
Well,
what I mean?
We'll
like
see. We'll see.
now, so a Fire
I mean,
Stick
people still buy DVD
or
players,
a
dude.
Roku or that I actually saw someone buy a DVD player at
Yeah,
Best Buy the other day.
I'm telling you. Fire Sticks might be around longer than you think.
But no, yeah, I mean, maybe it's just gonna be a much smaller market is all I'm saying. You know, smart TVs
Yeah.
are just getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper.
I'm just
and, like,
picturing how cool this would have been when we were kids. Like, we've got the Xbox, right, in the living room, and that's where that is. And then Mom says, "Go to bed," and we go to bed, and we plug in the Xbox Series C, and we cloud game in our bedroom. That would
Yeah.
have been so cool.
for
So-
sure. That's true.
Yeah, I think this is a cool idea. I think if they do it for $100, a stick and a controller, if they do it for 80 even, would be a crazy steal. But that's the leak. So we don't know. It could be something else entirely. That's just what people are theorizing. But
Sure.
that's kind of the buzz right now. Sony had their State of Play last week. Did you watch that, Luke?
No, because I got a text message from you that said this was the worst state of play ever. So I was like, all right.
Yeah, not only was it the
need,
worst State
no
of
need
Play
to watch
ever, it was, I mean, the State of Plays in general are terrible. So
that. Right.
this is the worst.
Right, exactly.
Of the
So
worst.
when you said that, it was like
yeah,
I don't have a PlayStation. I don't there's
right.
I care zero about
So
this.
I'm gonna
you know?
just scroll through these and just kind of read off what we got. We got Exoprimal, which is a new IP from Capcom. It's a dinosaur, what looks to be like a zombie style game, where you're like fighting off
like
the
a survival
dinosaurs.
game.
Yeah.
Wait, like a round-based game or like
I
a
don't- I'm not
open world survival?
I'm not
dinosaur
really
game?
sure. It
I'm
seems kind of.
I'm there for an open world survival dinosaur game. That sounds
yeah, but
fun.
not one that looks like Anthem. This looks terrible.
Ooh.
It looks really
yeah,
bad.
I don't
So-
like that.
Big miss. They should have brought back Dino Crisis, but they did this. The Dialfield Chronicle,
Ooh.
Valkyrie Elysium,
Ah.
Returnal Ascension. Okay, so this is actually
Okay.
kind of
I
cool.
was-
So Returnal is getting multiplayer,
Oh,
which is
really?
dope because there's no way I was gonna finish this stupid game. But now I might. Now I might
Sure.
play with my buddy Josh. Returnal it's challenging. It's not Elden Ring style challenging,
Sure.
but it's eternally frustrating because every time you start over, you have to start over. Like, and
You could say
You
it's
die-
returnally frustrating.
nice. Every time you die, you have to get new weapons. You have to get your health upgrades. You have to. There are some things that you keep, but for the most part, it's starting over.
Sure.
And so in Elden Ring, when I die, I feel challenged and excited and like,
Right.
man, this game beat me, and I have to really like get better and you know.
This seems like a game made for speedrunners. You know?
Oh yeah,
like,
totally.
The people who
Yeah, for
restart
sure.
games over and over and over and over again, and that is not me. you
Yeah.
know? So,
I don't know,
but
It's just-
multiplayer is awesome. That's
the
really
kind
cool.
of hard that this is just it's a frustrating
Sure.
kind of hard. Ghostwire Tokyo, we've seen it a million times. I'm just ready to play this game. It looks awesome. It comes out in March. I think next week. I'm very excited for this. It's like a first person like sorcery shooter
Oh,
style.
right. Yeah, I remember this.
It's
Mhm.
very horrific, but it is not a horror.
right.
It's like an action horror, so it's not
Sure.
scary.
Yeah.
You know? But it's super scary looking. Really excited for that. Forspoken got delayed to doesn't say here. I think October. it looks fine. We'll see. I don't know. It's one of those PlayStation first party games that you're kind of like, what even is this? But then Horizon came out and it was great. Last of Us came out, it was great. They make good stuff there. So I'll try it, but
Sure.
it's, it got delayed, probably for the better. It looks like the visuals need some work, but Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. So this is Dark Souls Final Fantasy.
Right.
So that's cool for people that like those things. And that's coming out March 18th, really soon. I don't know if you saw the clip that was going around of them all meeting, but it was like the most macho, like bad writing of male
Really?
characters I've ever seen. It's pretty
That's
funny.
hilarious.
But yeah, that's that. Gundam Evolution. Oh my gosh, so excited. Okay, TMNT Cowabunga Collection.
I know you're very excited for this.
I am very excited for this. This is so cool. It's got 8 games, Luke. So we've got Teenage
that's
Mutant
cool.
Ninja Turtles Arcade, Turtles in Time Arcade, and then we got 1, 2, and 3 from the NES,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have Tournament Fighters, Turtles in Time for Super Nintendo, Tournament Fighters for Super Nintendo, Hyperstone Heist, Tournament Fighters for the Genesis, Fall of the Foot Clan for Game Boy, Back from the Sewers for Game Boy, and Radical Rescue for the Game Boy. This is one of the best retro collections I have ever seen.
And hopefully it doesn't suck.
Oh, yeah, I mean, why would you say that?
I hear retro collection and I'm
Retro
just
collections
afraid.
are often terrible, but it's
Yeah,
Turtles.
exactly.
It's Turtles.
So,
It's like going to be good.
Hopefully it's
I just want the
not
special
awful.
edition to come in a pizza box.
Yes, that would be so cool. That would be awesome.
Like all the pepperonis could just be the icons of the game or something.
Yeah,
you know?
totally.
Oh man, that would be
That would be
sweet.
so cool.
It says in addition to PlayStation releases, it will be out on Xbox, PC, and Switch as well.
Oh,
Cool.
awesome. I
So,
feel like this is a
limited
great
run.
Switch
I know
pickup.
that you're not listening to this podcast, but I'm going to send it to you and ask that you listen to it because of this clip. Please, limited run games. Please. Make a Switch special edition. I will buy it. I might buy 2. And everyone else will buy it. Please make it. Please. Please. Thank you. Okay. Gigabash. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Okay. Anyways, next we have Trek to Yomi. This looks kind of cool. It's like a black and white style, like Kurosawa movie samurai game. It looks like it's a side scroller sometimes and then sometimes not. It just looks like a very cinematic samurai experience.
Sure.
I'll probably play it. It says it's coming in spring, so I don't know when spring
Of
is
this year?
over. Yeah. But we'll see.
All right.
It's kind of weird that it doesn't have an official date yet, but it's coming soon. So that looks pretty cool. But that was it. So between Turtles, Ghostwire Tokyo, and Trek to Yomi, those were the cool things. Ghostwire Tokyo we knew about. This is just, hey, it's coming out this month. Trek to Yomi, same thing. We already knew about that.
Yeah.
But Turtles was a hype announcement. Don't get me wrong. I'm stoked on Turtles.
This definitely doesn't. It was not worthy of a state of play.
No, it was
this-
like 25 minutes of
These
just
could have been Twitter announcements.
Yeah, I know. Well, Sony doesn't. Okay, also, they're doing another state of play like next week.
What? Why?
Just for Hogwarts.
what? Okay.
They're giving us like 18 minutes of footage, which is I mean, that's a lot, but what I think would have been way better, because people are really excited for this game.
Oh yeah, super
Is-
excited for it.
Put that at the end of State of
Yeah.
Play with some really cool new reveals, and then say, hey, later today we're dropping this, 23 minutes or 18 minutes of footage
Right.
or whatever. That would have been way better than
Oh,
doing
yeah,
two separate
absolutely.
State of Plays a couple weeks apart. Doesn't make any sense to me, but, I'm not Sony. So maybe I don't know what is best, I guess, but I think it's dumb.
All right. Well, that's all the news we have for you this
That
week.
is all the news we have for you this week.
Next, we're going to get into our top 10 Nintendo 64 games.
What does that mean?
So I'm super excited for this. I had a lot of fun making my list. Basically, you have your own list. I have my own list. And we'll go through them. I'll start with my number 10.
Well, I have the list.
Okay.
And you have a list.
So this is opinion based.
This is
not
the definitive top 10
Okay.
Nintendo 64.
my list is my top 10 favorite Nintendo 64 games. He may have gone in a different direction with that, but basically how we're going to do this is I'll say what my number 10 is, and if it's higher on your list, you'll tell me that it's higher, and then I'll move on to we'll move on to your 10, and then we won't talk about my 10 until we get
if
there.
I have it higher, we'll talk about it when
It's on your
Okay.
list, right?
Okay.
Exactly. So I'll start. Let me pull my list up here and try and ignore all the NFL free agency notifications.
I don't have that problem because Tom Brady
All right.
is coming back to the. Did you hear about that?
Yes, I did.
What do you think about that?
I'm really glad I
take.
didn't drop him in my fantasy league because I
Really?
almost did last week. Also, someone sold his last touchdown pass for over $500,000
Oh my
the day
goodness.
before he came back.
So this is a video game podcast, and no one listening cares about this. But Tom Brady, oh my lord, can we just?
He's gonna win a Super Bowl.
But come on, man.
No, he's gonna win a Super Bowl.
You can't. He's pulling a Brett Favre. If he doesn't win a Super Bowl, this is going to be the most embarrassing move in all of history.
Brett Favre.
I'm just saying, Tom, buddy, know when it's over. You're like 55. Quit.
And he made it to the playoffs last year.
I thought he didn't make it to
No,
the
he
playoffs.
did. He was in the playoffs. He lost in the playoffs,
Mm.
but he made it to the. He's gonna win
Oh,
a Super
Tom.
Bowl.
Okay, well,
Number
we'll
8.
see what happens.
Anyways, top 10 Nintendo 64 games. My number 10, which I feel like will probably be higher on yours, GoldenEye.
Yeah, it's higher.
Okay.
It's way higher.
What's your number 10?
1080.
Go for it.
You
Talk
don't
all
even
about
have
it.
Really?
It's not on my list. I never played it.
Oh my gosh. What? You never played it?
No, I never
Luke,
played it.
I have it right behind you. You're gonna grab it and you're gonna take it home, and you're gonna play it today. You're
Nope.
gonna use the birthday gift I got you last year, so you can plug it in your TV, and you're gonna try
Nope.
it out. I'm just saying. Oh my gosh, 1080 snowboarding is maybe the first good sports game that was ever made. No, that's not true. They had some pretty good football games before this, but as far as snowboarding goes, this was like, oh my gosh, you can make a snowboarding game. It was they had an emphasis on realism. The tricks were super fun. It was also a little bit wacky and arcadey. It was about getting scores. Think Tony Hawk, but for snowboarding. This was that. 1080 is a great game, well deserving of a top 10. I understand why maybe, it didn't make everybody's top 10 list, but I loved this game. Even as a kid who did not care about snowboarding.
Sure.
It was a great game.
All right. Moving on to my number 9, I have Star Fox 64.
I've got it higher.
All right. What is your number 9?
My number 9 is Rogue Squadron.
Rogue Squadron. All right. Rogue Squadron did not make my list. I had it in my honorable mentions, but
Oh my
it
gosh.
did not make the
Oh
list.
my gosh. Rogue Squadron is... Oh, I forgot honorable mentions. I'll come up with them on the fly.
Okay.
Rogue Squadron is not only one of the best 64 games, it paved the way for some of the best GameCube games.
I mean, and Rogue Squadron's great. Like, don't get me wrong.
It's
Like, it's
so
it's so
good.
much fun.
It's
It
so
is
good.
it is a very fun
Also,
game.
is Naboo Starfighter, is that on the 64? Or
Yes.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah, I went through all the 64 stuff when I
Okay.
was doing this list. So
Well, I'm going to do Rogue Squadron / Naboo Starfighter.
okay.
Because those are awesome. They're so much fun. I love Star Wars flying. I love racing games. I love like combat style what's the word I'm trying to say? Like air combat, dogfighting.
Yeah.
It's a great game. It's Star Wars. It's got some of the best sound design. Star Wars games always have amazing sound design, and especially on the N64, it's like so impressive what they were able to do with this. And it's one of those games that I was very bad at as a kid, but I just wanted to
I
play
will
it.
say it has one of the features that I miss about video games in it, which I mean a lot of these
The cheat
are going
codes?
to the cheat codes.
Oh, the
Yes.
cheat codes are
I
so
love
cool.
the cheat codes.
Dude,
and I
unlocking
remember
the
being a
Millennium
kid
Falcon.
and trying to find those out, unlocking the car.
Oh, yeah, what's
you
the
know,
car?
And I forget what the car is. But the cheat codes in video games, I just miss that. Now it's just like hidden unlockable stuff. Or
Oh, it was a Buick.
it's just stuff that you can buy. Why was it that car specifically?
I
Was
don't
this
know.
like
Look at
the
it.
developer's car? Yeah, with the thing's
That's
awesome.
so cool.
We'll have to throw a picture up to show
Yeah,
people what we're
that's
talking
awesome.
about. But
Yeah, it was such a great game. I love Rogue Squadron. I also love Naboo Starfighter. That was a really fun prequel style
sure.
game. Also, that's one of the best ships in Star Wars.
Oh yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, great games.
My number 8, Rayman 2, The Greatest Game.
Oh, yeah, that's probably in my honorable mentions.
Yeah, for sure.
But we can talk about it now.
I love Rayman 2.
Rayman 2
this
is
game
awesome.
Is so
Rayman
much
2
fun.
is really
It,
good.
I booted it up. I don't know, maybe like last year or whatever, and the nostalgia hit so hard.
Dude,
Like,
I didn't even
it was such a nostalgic
You know
game,
how
and I didn't
sometimes-
even realize it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know how sometimes you think of something and you're like, "Oh, I remember that." Like that kind of usually rules out nostalgia. If you're like, "Oh yeah, I remember that."
Right.
But when you were like, "No, you got to play it."
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
a few months ago or whatever, I put that thing in and dude, wave after wave after wave of
Yeah, and like
nostalgia.
every
All
new
throughout
level
the
that I
first
went
level.
to,
Yeah.
and it was just like better and better and better.
Yep.
And it's a really fun platform.
It's one of the best 3D platformers on the 64.
It's really
yeah,
fun.
It's very
you know,
good. It's very
and like
good.
I love the like hover mechanic that it has. You know, where you like jump and
Yeah.
then you like hover for a
Yeah.
second, and then,
It's
you
a
know.
very PS2 era game, which is crazy
Uh-huh.
because it came
Yep.
out so early. But man, that is such a good game, and the sound design in that game is
It's so good.
is so good.
It's really good. I mean, I remember the enemies.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember I
Yeah.
remembered so much
What's
about
the name
this
of
game
his big
that
buddy?
I didn't even realize. Oh, I don't remember.
Oh man, I don't
Um,
either. But yeah, the little king dudes were hilarious.
Yep.
Like fighting over the crown, and then the big
Yep.
blue guy. Man, oh Glovex.
Yep. And
Yeah.
then the like portal that you jump in to go to the
Yeah.
like. Oh man. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Such
Great
a fun
game.
game. Such
Great
a fun game.
Rayman 2's good.
So what's your number 8?
My number 8 is Smash Bros.
Higher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Number 8.
Well, you should see
Wow.
the other 7
Wow,
I have
higher.
on this list.
All right. My number 7. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1.
Ah, man. Dang it.
You even brought this up.
I
Tony
know.
Hawk. I spent so much time playing Tony Hawk. And
Yeah,
then
Tony
like
Hawk's
I played
amazing.
it a ton when we were kids, and then when I set my 64 up again in junior high, I played so much of it.
Yeah.
And I'm really bad at it, but it is so much fun.
Yeah.
Like I think it's the 4th or 5th level that I like just can't get the tapes on for some reason. It's like the canyon one where
Yeah,
you
that
go all the way
one's-
down.
yeah, it's
There's
tough.
some really hard tapes
Dude,
on there.
also,
But
side note, the remake of that game is amazing, especially that level.
oh really?
Because the canyon in 64 is way too big of an idea for the 64.
Sure.
So you just see constant fog and like jagged edges and
Right.
stuff. But seeing that in the remake, you're like, oh, that's what this was supposed to be. Like it looks so much better.
Sure. Yeah, I definitely want to go back and play the remastered one. But also
should.
some of it just makes me want to just play the old one, you know? Like
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
Well,
and
I
it's
think
a newer
I think the
control
remaster
system.
is done so well that it really does feel like playing
Sure.
the old one.
Yeah, it's just the control system that I've
Yeah,
got
but you
to
get used to
learn,
it.
you know,
Just
but
get one of those NSO online 64 controllers.
right, there we go.
Play with
There we
that.
go.
Yeah, especially Tony Hawk 2. The level creator in that game.
Oh yeah.
I
it was
spent
so much fun.
hours.
Yeah, so did I. I spent
hours
so much time on
building
that.
levels in that.
Yeah.
So Tony Hawk's great. So my 7 then?
You're 7. Yeah.
Star Fox.
All right. Yeah. Star Fox.
Star Fox is
It's so much fun.
the so we watched Top Gun, and then Dad was like, "Hey, let me show you this game."
Yeah.
And then he pulled Top Gun style tricks on us
Right.
in Star
Oh,
Fox, and we
Dad-
could never beat
Dad
him.
demolished
Could
us
never
in Star
beat him.
Fox.
I was so excited the first day I killed him once.
Yeah.
And
I
then
just remember,
he
like,
just-
I would be chasing you, and then he would just come out of nowhere,
Yeah.
just shooting me.
Dude.
And then he would take me out, and then he'd take you out, and then... But, man, this game is so much fun. The story is fun. The multiplayer
The
is fun.
soundtrack
The soundtrack
is
is great.
amazing.
It's such a good game, and honestly, it probably deserves to be a little higher up than 9. But there's some other stuff on my list. But there's some other stuff that is just like, like same with GoldenEye. You know, the reason GoldenEye was lower. Well, we'll talk about that when we get to GoldenEye. But no, I love Star Fox.
But Star Fox-
it's such a good game.
This is one of the things that confuses me. Is you look back and you see Ocarina of Time, and you're like, oh my goodness, that game makes sense why Zelda is the way it is today.
Right.
You look back at Mario 64 and you're like, okay, that game literally changed the way that people play video games. Like
Yeah.
it changed the camera system.
Right.
You know, people didn't understand what a 3D game was. Like you really had to think outside the box to develop these games. You look at Star Fox, which did all of that.
Yeah.
And what
the heck?
happened?
What the heck? Like, why don't we have?
Star Fox is dead.
Yeah, I don't
I want
get
a
it.
Star Fox game on the
would
Switch
love-
so
I
bad.
would love a good Star Fox game on the Switch.
But okay, so your 6.
My 6. Diddy Kong Racing.
Oh man, yeah. No.
I am a Diddy Kong Racing stan. I love this game.
Is Mario Kart on
It
your
is
list?
so much fun. Mario Kart is not on my list because I knew it would be on yours, and I wanted to talk. I wanted to
Dude.
talk about an extra game.
Dude,
I
Diddy Kong would have been a perfect honorable mention.
disagree. Diddy Kong
Oh.
deserves the list. This is another game I spent so much time playing. I love this game so much. You can
Diddy
fly.
Kong is a little brother
You can
game.
race in planes. You can race in bumper boats. You can race in cars. I love the balloon system was
bumper
really
boats are
fun.
really
The-
fun.
You get three blue balloons or 3 red balloons to get the really good upgrades. You know, like I love this game, and it is, in my opinion, a better single player game than Mario Kart is. Because of the hub world, because of the unlocks, because of the
Except for the characters and the levels and the
Oh
music.
well, of course,
and
Mario
the
Kart
items,
Mario Kart for sure has better characters and better
art
music.
direction.
But I love Diddy Kong Racing. It is so much
Graphical
fun.
capability.
It has some great maps. It has some really good maps that if they were in Mario Kart, they would be still considered as some of the better maps. They would be in Mario Kart 8.
That's
there's
high
some,
praise.
There's some there is a few maps that are better than Mario Kart maps.
Did I ever show you that Unreal Engine remake of Diddy Kong
Yeah, you did.
64 I saw?
Yeah.
So cool.
I love
Diddy Kong was a
Racing.
cute game. It was fun. I liked playing it with you. It's not even. I wouldn't put it in my top 20, but you know that's your list.
And yeah, I love Diddy Kong. It's the best.
Okay, so I have GoldenEye.
GoldenEye. Okay, so the reason GoldenEye, I love GoldenEye. GoldenEye is so much fun.
So I put
It's
GoldenEye
such a
at
good
6,
multiplayer
and that
game.
felt low to me. I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
I
man.
initially had it higher, but as I was looking at some of the other games, I just feel like some of the ones I put higher are just more replayable. The controls in GoldenEye are rough.
I feel like I'm gonna have to justify this again once we finish our list, and then I'm gonna have to go back down and explain why GoldenEye is 6 because it feels wrong to me. Like
Yeah,
you
I-
think of
I-
64
yeah.
and you think of GoldenEye. It's
no,
one of the
I-
games that everybody played. It's one of the ones.
I'm with you in GoldenEye, but again, it's just the controls are so bad. The controls
No,
are
they're not.
Yes, they are.
They're amazing.
No, they're not.
Okay, but you're thinking backwards. You're thinking based on
No, I'm comparing it to the other games that I put higher. Star Fox controls better, Rayman controls better, Tony Hawk, Diddy Kong all control better than GoldenEye. GoldenEye's controls were pretty clunky.
But for a first-person shooter on a console, it was incredible.
Sure, I agree with that. But again, like
And it
just-
was before the
so-
twin sticks. Like,
right, and I understand that, and for the time, of course, it was a phenomenal game. But my top 10 list, these are my top 10 favorite 64 games.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to go back to other games before I go back to GoldenEye, and the controls are largely a part of that.
Yeah.
If they were to remaster
they do
GoldenEye
feel kind of
and do it justice and make a really solid remaster of GoldenEye, I would play the heck
I'm sure we'll be
out of
talking
that
about
game.
that soon.
I would play the heck out of that game.
I'm sure we'll be talking about that soon, especially once it comes to Switch Online. I'll pay $100 for a NSO controller at that point. Like I have to play GoldenEye online.
Yeah.
That's gonna be one of those things. Chase and Andrew and Josh, I'll log on
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
is to play GoldenEye. So, man, GoldenEye's a great game. I feel terrible putting it so low, but I don't think I have to explain anything about this game. Man with a Golden Gun is one of the best modes in any first-person shooter I've ever played. It to the point where it's been replicated so many times, even in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Like the same idea, you know. They had a mode that was essentially similar to Gun Game, like
Oh, really?
yeah, where you upgrade your
I
weapons
didn't
over
know that.
time. The first person maps in this game are legendary. Aztec is
Yeah,
like
they're super good.
one of the
the
best
maps are
multiplayer
awesome.
maps ever made.
The maps are really good.
The guns are amazing. Yeah, man, GoldenEye is great. The graphics at the time, I remember thinking like, this looks like real life.
Right.
Like, I
Yeah.
don't understand how games could look any better than this. And now you look back and it's like the dude's face is literally folded in half.
You remember Big Head mode?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, the cheats in this game. Game Shark made this game so much better.
Oh, for
Paintball
sure.
mode was so much fun.
Yeah.
I would always try to write my name on the wall before everything
bef-
disappeared
yeah.
because it couldn't render all of that.
Totally.
Man, GoldenEye and that first level, and talk about a campaign. This campaign was better than the freaking movie. Like, GoldenEye was so good. This is a great game. Everyone should play it. I'm so sorry it's so low on my list. I feel
You're
terrible.
the one who had to come in and say, this is the definitive top 10 list. If you would have just been like, these are my top 10 favorite 64 games, people couldn't come for you.
No, I'll justify it once we
Uh-huh.
get to the top.
Uh-huh. Sure.
But
sure.
yeah, GoldenEye is a very, very good game.
All right. So my number 5, Gauntlet Legends.
Wow, I feel like your list is just based on nostalgia.
No. Have you played Gauntlet recently?
Yeah, no, but
It's so good.
it is good. But
It's so much fun.
all right,
Red
Tell me
Warrior needs food badly.
that's nostalgia. That's not a good game
No,
mechanic.
of course. But it's so much fun. It's such a good 4-player cooperative game. Going through all the different dungeons and the level and fighting that big dragon. And
Yeah.
I remember playing this game with you, me, mom, and dad.
Yeah,
And we couldn't
dude.
beat that
Oh, I
dragon.
know.
Which then when I got older and went back and played, I realized that's the first boss of the game. So
I thought that was the end.
no, that's the first
Oh
boss
my
of the
gosh.
game. So you have like the different realms that you go to, right? And then the first one that you go to at the end is the dragon. And then there's like the darker like there was like the skeletons or something that you fought. It was like there was the like witches and
sure.
stuff, you know. That's the second realm.
The-
So there's a bunch of
thing I do
Gauntlet
like
that you
about
and I
this game
probably haven't even played.
is the Diablo style camera, the isometric viewpoint, and the difference in the characters actually matters. Like,
oh
it,
yeah,
it didn't.
it does.
The axe throwing or the magic or the arrows, you know, Valkyrie.
I loved the cooperative puzzles too.
Yeah,
How
It's
someone
a
would
really
have to
fun
stand
game.
on a switch and you'd have to like go around.
It's really fun.
You know, and then if if you got attacked, you're all by yourself,
Dude,
and you might die.
but
And
1080, Rogue Squadron, Smash Bros, Star Fox, GoldenEye are all better than Gauntlet.
I love Gauntlet.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, no, it's a good game.
Again, and my list is not necessarily like this is not necessarily
good list.
this is not my like top 10 best Nintendo 64 games or anything like
Right,
that.
it's
you know,
your
like
favorite.
it would be
Yeah.
a little different. This is just these are my favorite games, and you know, and that's when you know, objectivity doesn't really matter as much. It's like I understand some games are bad, but I love them regardless. You know,
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I considered putting Blast Corps in here, which is not a bad game by any means. It's a great game. Do you remember Blast Corps?
Mhm.
I feel like you would if you played it.
maybe
It's just explosions and
Sure.
and mechs and construction and trucks, and man, that was a fun game. It's made by Rare, so like 90% of the good games on 64 are made by Rare, but I I think people are going to be upset when Banjo doesn't show up on either of our lists.
I didn't play Banjo.
I didn't play Banjo either.
I'm sorry.
I have played Banjo.
I didn't play
but
it.
I didn't play it.
So it's not going to be on the list.
So where are we?
Your
at
number
now?
5.
My number 5, Mario Kart 64.
Great game.
It's
Not as good as Diddy Kong.
It's better than Diddy Kong in every way. It's higher on my list than Diddy Kong is on yours. That makes it better.
Okay.
The battle mode in this game is so much fun.
I don't remember the battle
So
mode.
you get 3 balloons on your back,
Yeah.
and then you fight with items until
Right.
you run out of balloons.
Uh-huh.
The battle mode is great. The fact that you can save your ghost, so you can race and then save that
Oh, really?
and then race against it if you use a memory pack.
Right.
The maps in this game are still being begged for by fans when new Mario Kart games come out because they're some of the best maps in the whole series. The music in this game is amazing. The way that they put Peach's castle into it when you finish, and it looks just like the one from Mario. What the frick? Mario 64. Man, it's such a good game. And everyone played it, so everyone's down to play it. So whenever like you have a 64 night, Mario Kart 64 is the first game that comes up.
Oh, totally.
And everybody knows how to play it.
Yep.
And tons of people are good that you would never expect.
Right. Yeah.
Like it is Mario Kart 64 is so much fun. And it's got online on Switch Online and it's so fun.
That's true. I haven't played it on Switch
Which
Online.
is not part of the rating,
but-
obviously, but so what's your number 4?
Number 4. Super Mario 64.
What?
Is it higher?
Yes.
All right, we'll talk about it in a little bit. What's your number 4?
Oh my gosh. Wow. I mean,
My top
it's not
3
much higher.
are
It's-
phenomenal
it's
games.
not much higher. You haven't even played Majora's Mask.
Yes, I have.
You haven't finished
I
it.
literally have.
You finished it?
No, I haven't finished it.
Well, that's what I meant.
That.
Paper Mario.
Oh, I haven't played Paper Mario. I've heard really good things from you, but I haven't played it yet. So tell me about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a game it would be similar to that you've played. So it's an RPG.
Right.
It's got turn-based combat, but
Uh-huh.
the thing about the turn-based combat is that it's an interactive turn-based combat. So you'll do an attack, and then in order to charge that attack, you have to spam the A button, or you have to move the stick back and forth, or you have to time it correctly. It makes turn-based combat fun. It's really, really interesting, and it's got some really fun, interesting mechanics. I played it for the first time last year.
Right.
And
And
finished it.
when you played it for the first time, a friend actually loaned you this game, right?
Don't.
And then this friend of ours had 3 different 100% completions of this game.
2.
2?
Yeah, only 2. I needed a slot to play.
No, he had 3.
No, only 2. There's only 3 slots on the cartridge.
Right, and he had 3 done.
No, he only had 2. Because he was going to let me play. So there was an open
I thought
slot.
he told you could delete 1.
No.
And then, well, anyways, he deleted every save. All of them. Cleared the cartridge.
In my defense,
Nope, there is no defense.
every time I
Every
time I buy a retro game, I always wipe the saves because I want it to be my game.
It wasn't your game.
I
It was a
wasn't
loaner.
thinking clearly. I'm so sorry, Tim. It still comes up, and every time it comes up, he's not mad at me. He just like sheds a single tear.
He was just heartbroken.
He's like, the first time I told him, he just like kind of looked down, and he was like, Kirk, the one thing I told you was don't delete the saves. Like, please don't delete. He's like, why did you do that? Oh man, that's the biggest dumb move I've made in years. I felt so stupid. Why did you bring that up? That hurts my feelings. And
because
Tim's.
it makes me laugh.
Oh, it's so embarrassing. Okay.
Paper Mario, tell me about it.
I can't. It's good. I love it. next?
Yeah, moving on.
Oh, yeah, please.
My number 3, Super Smash Bros.
Wow, that's really high.
This game,
Wait, so you don't have Mario 64 on your list at all?
no. Wait, no. What? Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
I said it was
Alright,
4,
alright,
and it was higher on yours.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
No, my number 3, Super Smash Bros. I mean, changed fighting games. Like, I mean, added a new style of fighting games entirely to the industry. I mean,
totally.
how many Smash Bros. Clones out there are there?
There's a lot.
And this game was amazing on the 64.
Yeah.
You want to talk about rosters? This roster was crazy.
Yeah.
You were playing with Link and Mario and Kirby and I mean Donkey Kong.
Captain Falcon.
It's such a great game.
Do you remember
it's still playable.
Do you remember the TV commercials for it?
Mm-mm.
They had dudes in like huge mascot
costumes.
costumes.
Yeah, I have seen these actually.
And Yoshi has like a hammer and he like hits Mario in the head and they're just like beating up Donkey Kong.
We played this so much as kids. It's still a great Smash Bros. Game today.
I think having played this game made every subsequent release so much more special to me. Like, because we played the crap out of Smash Bros. And that's one of those things that you can't go back and change like what games you played. So I mean there will be announcements that come out there like, ooh, the new Star Ocean 7. It's like, well, I never played that, so I can't get excited about that. So it's kind of not fair because like people are getting excited about these things. It's like, well, you can't control the past. But when Smash Ultimate came out and they announced the characters and they announced that everyone was coming back, and they announced that Snake was coming back, and they announced, Ice Climbers and like everybody that hasn't been back, Mewtwo is coming back. And then they announced all the DLC. Like every time that announcement came out, it was so amazing. And it just added to the legacy that started with this game.
Oh, yeah.
So
totally.
By no means am I faulting you for putting it that high. It's
oh man, and like I mean, and Pikachu is in this game, and it's Pokemon, it's Mario, it was just everything.
The maps in this game
every
are
good
amazing.
game on 64.
Totally.
All of the main characters are in here, and the maps are great Smash Bros. Maps.
Yep.
I mean, the single player mode is so much fun.
Oh yeah, and
fighting
the hit the targets,
the hand at the end, the hit the targets was so much fun.
Crazy hand.
Fighting Metal Mario and fighting all the different Yoshis.
Dude, and those weird like polygon shaped people.
Yeah, yep.
Man, great game.
It's such a fun game. It's the best multiplayer game on the 64. Dare I say it? I think so. It's another one of those where it comes out at the 64 night and people are really good at it, and you're like, what? You're bad at video games. Like, why are you beating me at this? And it's because we all played it growing up.
It's also because that game is terribly balanced.
Sure,
but
I mean, they still have Smash 64 competitions to this day, combos, and go watch a Smash 64 combo.
I guess they still
like competition.
They've been like adding characters and stuff too.
Yeah,
right?
and then Smash 64 Remix.
Right.
The roster is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like
they
K.
recently
Rool is
added
in it.
Wolf and stuff. K. Rool is in it. That's cool.
Maybe not. Let me see.
Donkey Kong 64 K. Rool. That'd be sweet. But
Wario, Ganondorf, Falco, Dr. Mario,
cool.
Dark Samus, Bowser. Was Samus not in?
She was.
Yeah,
it's just a weird list. But
yeah.
So is it my number 3 now, or?
Yes, you're number 3.
Okay, so my number 3 is Mario 64.
Mine was at 4.
Yeah, it wasn't much lower. Yeah, all right, fair enough.
And partially it was at 4 because I played the game as a kid. I played the game as an adult. I love the game. I haven't played a lot of the game. But it's hard because so much fun.
when I again, these are not our objective lists.
Right.
But when you look at the legacy of Ocarina of Time, and you look at the art design and the levels and the epic places that it did, and you compare it to Mario 64 and in that world of things, they're so freaking close in terms of just straight up quality. Like, these games have recently been ported to the Switch.
Right.
Not ported, but emulated
Right.
on the Switch. And they instantly became some of the best games on the Switch. Like, that's how good these games are. Is you pull them from 20 years ago, and they are still absolutely phenomenal. With plenty of flaws in both of them, mind you.
Right.
Like, especially when it comes to controls and, like, modern, the way things go. But, oh my goodness. I have not bared with a game that had such frustrating controls for so long than Mario 64. The camera in this game drives me crazy.
Oh,
It drives
yeah.
me crazy, and
Yeah,
it's the cause of so
it's
many deaths.
rough.
But I'm working on a 100% run of it in 3D All Stars, and
Oh, really?
yeah, I was until you stole
Mm.
my copy. But man, this game is so good. It's so
much
so
fun.
good.
It's such a good game. I love watching speedrunners play this game too.
Oh man, the speedruns in
just
this
like-
game are amazing. The secrets in this game, the fact that you get to see Yoshi at the end, the rumors about Luigi, some of the game development, like, from like Did You Know Games, that YouTube channel, some of the stuff on this game is so cool. The climbing the trees for the first time, just jumping into the
Yep.
game and starting in this what felt like an open world at the time
Right.
was absolutely mind-boggling.
Oh yeah, I spent so much time just running around outsid the castle
Yeah.
looking for stuff,
Totally.
looking for
Yeah, doing the
secrets or
triple
hidden
jump and doing
things
the
or-
dive.
Yeah,
and, yeah.
uh-huh.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Man,
It's
it's a
phenomenal
legendary game.
Phenomenal game.
So,
My number 2,
okay.
you better not say higher because you would be wrong.
Okay.
Majora's Mask.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't say
that's-
higher.
I
Is
have
it-
it at 2 also.
You have it at 2. Okay, perfect. So, phenomenal game. It's so good. I love Majora's Mask. I love the soundtrack in it is top 5 Zelda games, if not top 3. Like, the soundtrack in this game is so good. I love Clocktown. The music, the town, the environment. Clocktown is awesome. I love Termina Field. It's a great game. It for sure belongs at 2. It's not quite one. The time.
But you haven't finished it.
Okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't
feel
belong
like
at 1.
There's so much of it you haven't seen that once you see will make you reevaluate your decision. So the more I think about and watch videos on and replay Majora's Mask, the more I think this might actually be the best Zelda game.
Oh my
like-
gosh.
It's so good.
The time travel mechanic alone holds it back.
No,
Yes,
it
does.
doesn't. The time travel
the
mechanic is
3-day
perfect.
mechanic. I mean,
No,
like,
it's good. It's
disagree.
It's intentionally designed that way. It doesn't hold it back at all. Also, you can slow down the time and it gives you like 4 hours to play. Like, that's plenty of time to do any of the things that it requires of you.
I disagree with that though. I like one of my favorite things about Zelda games is just screwing around and
And you can do that a little bit in this game. You also
a little bit.
you
can do it
also
a
don't
little
have the threat of dying because you can reset the clock whenever you want. So the thing about this game that is awesome is that it mixes the fun and the adventure and the excitement and the epicness of all of the Zelda games with the existential dread and the nightmarish like material and the scary and the like depressive just mood and dark tone of this game is totally unmatched in any other Zelda
Of
game.
course, and story and
The story in this game
not
is
environment. What's the
amazing.
word I'm looking for? Just like atmosphere.
Yeah,
the
the
atmosphere of
is-
this game is so
it's
good.
so rich.
But it's not.
the way that the Clocktown theme goes from do
Right.
like all happy and stuff,
Yeah,
and then it
to like
slowly gets more
right.
menacing.
Yep.
And slowly gets more terrifying as you get closer to midnight on the third day, to where it's just like pounding the drum and like it kind of hurts your ears to listen to a little bit.
Totally.
Just the evolution of the whole world over those 3 days is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, it for sure is. It's just again, it's just
Which surprises me as someone who likes horror so much that you wouldn't like this game more.
no, my number. It's number 2 overall. Like
Well,
this.
yeah, I
it's
know, but
such
I
a
just
good
mean in
game.
terms of like
It's
Zelda
just
games.
the 3-day thing. I'm not a fan of. It's
Yeah.
just not like I mean the first thing I did in Breath of the Wild was go turn on every tower, not go to Kakariko Village.
Yeah.
I went and turned on every tower.
Yeah.
And I probably put 30 or 40 hours into the game.
Yeah.
Before I even went
Well,
to Kakariko Village.
In Majora's Mask, exploration is not the main factor. It is a factor. There is lots of
Well,
exploring.
it's not
to
the
do.
main factor in
But-
Ocarina either. But
Well,
in,
I think it pretty much is in Ocarina. Or at
I mean,
least
I
top
don't-
3. Like,
well, sure, but that's one of the things I love so much about Ocarina is I love the exploration.
yeah.
I love that I can still find new stuff in that game.
Yeah.
I love that, and I think the 3 days just hurts it for me.
Yeah. All I'm saying is the more I play it, the more I grow to appreciate it. This is a masterpiece. And the fact that it was developed in 18 months blows my mind.
Totally.
It also adds so many upgrades from Ocarina.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I love the bandolier that he wears. Link's character model is better.
Right.
The-
And he
The
moves.
flips that he does are so cool. He moves
yeah.
smoother. I love his shield in this game. I love the mirror shield in this game.
Yeah.
I love the sword. Like I so much about this game is
Totally.
so good.
Yeah. No,
This
it's great.
I might go as far as to say it has the best side quest of any Zelda game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which side quest are you referring to?
I mean, there's a bunch, but the
I
couple's
thought
mask
I
is
thought you were
the.
talking about one specific one.
Oh no, just in general.
Just in general.
Yeah, the side quests in this game
Right.
are very strong.
Sure.
Also the fact that you've got all of your normal items that you collect in Ocarina, again in this game,
Right.
with a couple of variations,
Mhm.
but then you have an entire separate screen for the masks that you get that pretty much all have a unique ability. It's just so cool. It feels like a classic 2D Zelda game because of all the gimmicks and all the surprises and the abilities and the fun kind of meaningless stuff that it has. But then it also feels like such an epic piece of 3D adventure game.
Sure.
It's so good. We love Majora's Mask.
But the one we love more,
This
number one on both of our lists,
Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time. But wait. We were supposed to do our honorable mentions.
We can do them after.
Yeah, that's fine. Ocarina of Time
It might be the best game
might
ever
be
made.
my favorite video game ever made.
Yeah.
It might be the best video game ever made.
Yeah.
You'd want to talk about soundtrack and atmosphere. And oh man, when you went into the Temple of Time and you were like, oh, like this sword's awesome. Like you pick up that sword, you find out it's been 7 years. You walk out of that temple and
so
see
cool.
destroyed
Yeah.
Castletown.
Yeah.
And what are those things called?
The Redeads.
The Redeads, yeah. Those things everywhere is just
Yeah.
like you're like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
what happened?
Yeah.
And I see, and this is I love the travel mechanic in this game. The mechanic of
The warping.
the warping where you choose when you want to go back.
I actually
and
don't
it's not you're
love
not
the warping that much. I like Epona. I like that warping is in it, but I just would rather ride Epona everywhere.
Oh, sure. I mean, but no, I like when you want to go back as a kid and like plant the magic beans or for the
Oh,
spirit
yeah.
temple or you know,
Totally.
like that's and I remember like as adult
It's got
Link,
some cool time travel
You
mechanics.
find like, oh, I can plant a magic bean in Death Mountain.
Right.
Like, oh, okay. Like, and then you go warp back,
Yeah.
and then you go buy a bean, and then
Yeah.
you warp to Death Mountain because that's the
Yeah.
only way to
And
get
then you
in. And
gotta
you plant
run.
the bean, and
Yeah.
you've got like a minute to, and then you gotta go back, and it's so much fun. The temples in this game are amazing. The water temple gets
The
way
temples
too much
in this
hate.
game are some of the best like dungeons in video games. Period.
Yeah, I mean the water temple gets too much hate.
The-
It's a good
It gets
temple.
way too much
It's,
hate.
it's a good temple.
No, it's a great temple. It's got one of the best designs, like temple wise. Again, of lots of video
I
games.
will say changing the water level gets pretty tedious.
It can get tedious if you don't know what you're doing.
Well,
if you
right,
do it
but-
right, you
but-
don't have to do it that many
but
times.
I think part of what makes a temple great is the first time you play it. And the first time you play the water temple,
it's really hard, and it's
really
confusing.
hard. It's rough.
But
it's
I
confusing.
think that's not because of the design of the temple. I think it's because of the design of the game and the limitations they had at the time. I think the maps in Ocarina of Time are probably one of the worst parts about the game. The stupid blue boxes don't mean anything, and they're so confusing.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially in the water temple, because you've got like 4 or 5 levels in that temple. And you're raising up the water and you're changing.
Well, and then one of the really confusing things about the temple is there's an extra key and an extra door that you don't even have to open. So you know, like I mean, you can't. But I'm saying if you use that key at the wrong time, it can make the temple a lot more confusing because the other key is kind of hard to find. But the tower in the middle, the bottom door, you never have to open that.
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't. You do not have to open that door.
Yeah, to get back up.
Nope. Ferrora's went back to the top.
But nobody uses that.
I do.
But what about to go underneath that?
You
platform
just raise the water and then you go underneath the platform.
Okay.
But I'm telling everyone, don't open that door for Ferrora's win up to the top.
Ferrora's win.
Okay, up to the top, and it makes the temple so much easier. And like it's just, and that's what I love about Ocarina, and just, I mean, Zelda games in general, but I love how you can just do stuff however you want in Ocarina.
Yeah.
Like one time the temple order that I did was the fire temple, the water temple, the shadow temple, the spirit temple, the forest temple.
Wow.
And then most recently I did the water temple first.
Yeah.
And then I did the shadow temple.
Oh, that's cool.
And then I did the forest temple. And then I did the fire temple.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing the spirit temple. Like,
yeah, that's kind of fun to do, but it's just, you have to go get the bow first, which is...
Well, yeah, but 3 heart challenging in this game is so much fun.
Yeah.
It's the right amount of challenging, but not impossible. You know, it's like...
And the story in this game is amazing too.
So
like
good.
it's a lot of environmental storytelling, and a lot of it is through like reading more that the devs didn't include in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But once you like find out about the Gerudo and the way that they there's only one man every 100 years or whatever, and it turns out to be Ganon reincarnated, and that's the first time we've got Ganondorf as a man, like Ganon incarnate in a man, and he tries to take over Hyrule Castle, and he goes in there like a good guy trying to start an alliance with the king, and Zelda knows something's up, and you're so helpless as a boy, and Impa knows that, so she tries to protect you both while trying to fulfill her duty as the Sheikah.
And I love that you don't realize how helpless you are until you see Ganondorf coming out of the temple, and you pull out your shield and sword, and he just laughs at you, and he's just like, pfft, and you're like, ah! You know, like come on, kid, like, and then realizing that because you had the stones and because you placed the stones, Ganondorf was able to get into the temple and get the Triforce of Power and destroy the world was like, holy crap, like this is kind of my fault. Like, you know, and then having to go back and undo everything. It's such a
finding
good
out
game.
that Rara the Sage is also the owl, and then just like all of the cool stuff in this game that is so subtle the first time you play it, you just grow to appreciate it so much. The design of the temples, the bosses in these games. The bosses in these games are some of the best. Phantom Ganon's amazing. Onga Bonga is amazing.
The witch sisters,
Twin Rova. That's what I was just gonna say. Yeah, they're great. Oh man, Ocarina is so good. It's so epic, and it's the perfect like hero's journey story. You know,
absolutely.
It gets all of those like King Arthur of Lancelot. What am I saying? King Arthur. Of what?
I don't know.
What is he from? England?
I don't know. Arthur's house?
Yeah, I guess. Whatever.
I don't know.
You know what I'm trying to say. It's just such a good, wholesome hero's journey story.
Absolutely.
With all, I mean, it's got the love interest, it's got the danger, it's got
the scariness too, and
it's got a little bit of that.
And the under the well,
the Shadow Temple
under the well
is really scary.
The Shadow Temple. It's got like the creepiness.
I
love
that it implies like there's a darker side to Hyrule too.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like the good side of Hyrule.
The finding all the heart pieces is so much fun.
The
They're really
friendships
good
and the
puzzles.
attachment that you make along the way too, like with Soraya and Ruto and Darunia and Impa and Raru and all the
And
stages.
even the mini temples as kids are so good. I mean, the Deku
the
tree
mini
is
temples are
awesome.
great.
The Deku tree is great.
I don't know
Inside
if I
Jabu Jabu,
call
I remember
Deku tree
seeing
a
that and
mini
I was
tree.
like, what?
Yeah,
like,
totally.
What just
Dude,
happened?
also
Like,
figuring out like you have to feed him to get inside is just
right.
some of the puzzles are like they're a little bit like hard to figure out the first time, but they're so rewarding.
Oh yeah.
And the replay value on this game is infinite.
We were talking about this because you were watching a friend of yours play, and you were like, I don't know how I figured these puzzles out. Like,
Yeah,
because some of them are really
I beat this
difficult.
game when I was like 7 or 8 years old, and I'm just like, how did I do this?
A lot of help from Dad, probably.
Yeah,
you know,
probably.
but yeah, I mean, some of those puzzles are really difficult. Like
Yeah.
the first time I remember, because I played this when I was little, but I was I don't know, 12 or 13 when I finally like played this game front to back, like totally completed it. And that it was challenging. The puzzles
Yeah.
were confusing.
Yeah,
and it was really
the combat
good,
is
and
really good, and
combat
it
feels
scales
good.
really well over time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just it definitely deserves to be number one. We could probably do an entire episode just breaking down Ocarina of Time.
Yeah,
But,
totally. I love Ocarina.
let's cover our honorable mentions real
Okay.
quick.
You go first.
Star Wars Racer.
Oh yeah, I love Star Wars Racer.
Yeah, super fun.
It's super fun. It's super hard. It's way too hard. It shouldn't be that hard. Oh my god, is it hard?
Doesn't deserve a top 10
but
list
it-
for
no,
sure.
no, but it's really fun.
It's super fun. Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, Spider-Man's great.
Spider-Man's so much fun.
It's actually terrible. It's one of the worst games I've ever
Yeah,
played,
but it's-
which I
it's-
proved to you recently.
it-
but
well, I didn't know about that.
dude,
It's so much fun though.
it's so much
Another game where the cheat codes are awesome.
Yeah.
Cosmic Spidey is in this game, dude. Cosmic Spidey.
So is Stan Lee.
Like, no, I mean you can play as Cosmic Spidey.
You can play as Stan Lee.
Wait, what?
I'm
I didn't
pretty
know
sure,
that.
yeah.
No, I don't think so. No, because
Am I
I
thinking-
recently put all the cheat codes.
I might be thinking the Spider-Man movie game.
You can play as
play as
like
Green Goblin
you
in
can
that
play
game,
as the black suit Spidey.
Yeah.
You can play as
Cosmic Spidey, you can play as Ben
I'm pretty
Reilly,
sure you can play as the Fantastic Four with the bag over the head. Maybe not.
I don't think so.
Maybe not. But all the costumes in it are so good. I love Spider-Man. But I mean, other honorable mentions of games that we didn't. At least I didn't play. Turok. Perfect
do you not
Dark.
have those in your list? Because I have
Oh no. Okay. Good.
Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah. Okay.
That game
definitely-
is amazing.
yeah, but it's not. But it is.
No,
you know,
it is.
like,
It's just got a little bit too much content.
Yeah.
I think Donkey Kong 64 is a great game. People give it crap all the time because of how much there is that you have to do, and how much character switching and how much backtracking, which fine, but it's also a great game, and the multiplayer in that game is so much fun.
the multiplayer.
Yeah,
What?
you get your guns and you shoot each other. And
Oh my gosh! I remember that.
Yeah, and you run
I
around
completely forgot about
and
that.
steal each other's watermelon
Yeah.
lives.
Mm-hmm.
The sound design in that game is amazing. The DK rap is amazing. The soundtrack in that game
Yep.
is amazing. Donkey Kong 64 is a great game.
It is
King
a great
K.
game.
Rool is a legendary character. Like seeing him in 3D for the first time and like the laser pointed at the DK
Right.
Island
Uh-huh.
and just
It was
the
scary.
epicness. Yeah.
Like when
Yeah.
when I was little, it was like, oh my gosh, like
His hand, and then so here's my next two right here. We got Pokemon Snap. This game
oh
is so good.
yeah,
This
yeah,
game
that,
is so
that definitely
good.
deserves an honorable
Pokemon
mention.
Snap. The fact that you can infinitely replay like the 8 levels in this game.
Yeah,
And keep finding new Easter eggs and secrets and like finding Mew and throwing pester balls at like the Ghastly to get it to appear, and the way that you like evolve a Magikarp into a Gyarados.
Yeah.
It's so cool. There's so much cool stuff in this Pokemon Snap that it's so great, and it spawned the new one that just came out last year or the year before, and that was great. Also Shadows of the Empire.
I haven't played this one.
This game is awesome. So this one you play as Kyle Katarn.
Right, I didn't know that.
And it's like a action platformer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a really great game. It's got classic Star Wars soundtrack. You fight a lot of stormtroopers. It's a really fun Star Wars single player story game. And then Rayman 2. But yeah, but that's all I have for honorable mentions.
Yeah, but I mean, like, like what I was saying, the other stuff that we haven't played. I mean, Banjo deserves a shout out for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean,
you know,
the whole library of the 64. There's 250 games, and
Well,
150 of them are good.
yeah,
Like,
maybe 100. I don't know. I
there's
looked
a
through
lot
the
of
whole
really
library.
good
There's a lot of.
But I mean,
not
even
good stuff in
Bomberman
there.
64, Clay Fighter, Sculptor Cut, like
Sure.
there's so many
I
that
know a lot of people who really love the wrestling games.
Yeah, I never got into
I
them.
never really played them either.
yeah. I'm sure if we liked
but
wrestling
yeah,
at the time,
yeah,
we would have.
totally. But no, I mean the 64. It's a great console.
Oh, what was that hockey game?
the hockey game?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Oh, there was a really good
Was
hockey
there-
game.
was
on,
there an
on
NHL game?
64. No, it was I guess it might have been NHL, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, I don't remember.
There was a really good hockey game on 64. But overall, I mean, the 64 has one of the best libraries out of any console. I think if I had to pick a favorite Nintendo retro, the Switch is my favorite console of all time. But my favorite Nintendo retro console goes to 64 every time.
For sure. Well, and what's so crazy about the catalog of 64 games is they're still being remade.
Yeah.
And I mean, how many
Pokemon
times has
Stadium.
Ocarina been remade?
We forgot about Pokemon
I
Stadium.
never played Pokemon
Both of them.
Stadium. I mean,
What?
I'm sure I did. I'm
What?
sure I played a lot of this as a kid, but someone sold our 64 to buy an Xbox. So there was a lot of
Dad
no,
sold our
you,
64.
You.
I made the
That was
decision
your choice.
that we would
that
sell
was
it.
it was your
But he was
choice,
the one that sold it.
and I didn't want to sell it. But with that said, I proud.
We got
no,
Obi-Wan.
Yeah, and Knights of the Old Republic, and
Yeah.
and so much good stuff.
And,
you know, but
and that terrible Batman game that is one of the worst games I've ever played. Holy cow, that game sucks.
we'll
Dude,
have
I've
to
never
do a
been
top
so
10.
disappointed in my Xbox. I got the
We-
Xbox and I was 8, and I was so sad.
We definitely gotta do a
Stupid Batman game.
a top 10. Oh, is the Batman Beyond game? Is that the 64?
Oh, yeah, it is 64.
Oh my gosh!
Batman Beyond is so
I
good.
loved that game. Dang,
yeah.
that's crazy. I
Dude, I
forgot
bet
about
there's
that.
something like really cringeworthy we're forgetting, like something big where
I don't think so. Again, like I looked through the list of them, but
yeah.
I mean, the fact that we never played Banjo is probably
Doom 64.
cringeworthy. Sure, same.
Oh,
No,
Duke
I
Nukem.
didn't- You never played Duke Nukem.
I absolutely did.
Not on the 64.
Yes, I did.
You did not.
I played it with Dad.
No way.
Yep. Dad and I played Duke Nukem.
All right.
Let's see. Turok 2. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
that's what I was saying. Turok, Perfect Dark, definitely deserves.
Oh, I never played
shout-outs.
Kirby 64. Oh, Yoshi's Story. Resident
Oh,
Evil
uh-huh.
2.
Yeah, well, you didn't play Resident Evil.
No,
2,
I didn't. But
you
the
know,
fact
like,
that they got that on
oh,
this
for
console
sure,
is
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yoshi's Story is very good. Harvest Moon 64. Pokemon Puzzle League. That's a really fun one. Body Harvest. The Mario Party games. Pilot Wings. Oh, Army Men. Sarge's Heroes.
Oh my gosh, how did I that was not on the list.
How
I
did
looked
you
through
forget
today.
Sarge's
There's
Heroes?
no way that
I told you.
absolutely would have made my top 10. Oh my gosh, how did I not remember that game? I'm changing my top 10 right now. See you later, GoldenEye. Sarge's Heroes takes number 10.
Oh man, Sarge's Heroes is awesome.
I love this game. I love the multiplayer.
The
I
multiplayer is
loved
so
the different,
good.
I loved the different
I
colors.
loved playing the multiplayer with you and Dad.
Playing blue and tan
And tan,
green and
yeah.
it was so much fun. The maps were awesome.
story
we
is
were
awesome.
mini. We were playing in like the kitchen sink and
Dude,
in
this
the
game is
bathroom.
hard.
It's really hard.
It's so
I
hard.
loved finding the guns, the flamethrower,
Yes.
the bazooka.
Yeah.
Like it's such a fun game.
I told you there was
I love
something
that
we're
game.
missing.
Yeah, I swear that was not on the list that I looked through today.
Yeah,
That-
dude, every
that
time-
absolutely would have made
Every
my
time I
list.
look through 64 games, there's always something.
Man, what a
Perfect Dark. How did we not mention that?
I've mentioned it 3 times today.
You did?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't. I haven't been listening to anything
He doesn't.
you've said.
He doesn't listen when we do this. He just
Quake,
talks.
Castlevania. Yeah, all kinds of good stuff. Well, what are your favorite Nintendo 64 games? Give us your top 10 in the comments below. In Spotify, we're going to have a question up that you can answer. On YouTube, you can leave your comments. You can also DM me on Instagram or Luke. We'll have our links in the description. And if you guys want to continue the conversation, we would love to hear your top 10s. Any questions you have for us, go ahead and ask those too, and we'll answer them next week.
For sure. And let us know if there's other top 10 lists you want us to do. Xbox, Switch, I mean, and anything.
Just not PlayStation.
Yeah, because we didn't have one growing up.
We never had one.
But yeah, let us know if you have any ideas for that. That's all I got.
That's all I got.
Oh, check out my YouTube channel, Plays at Night. I've got 2 videos up. More coming soon.
It's in the description. I just said that.
Yeah, but audio podcast.
Yeah, audio podcast. Right. Well, thanks for listening, you guys. I'm Kirk.
I'm Luke.
And that's all we have for today, folks. Bye.